Welcome back.
Welcome, welcome.
Um, I don't even know if we still have an intro yet. We don't have an intro yet.
No, but I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel. Let's, guess let's get down to it, huh?
Sounds good.
So today I'm going to be telling a little story.
So it's like a full story.
The best way to put it is a biography. And if you have any questions through it, let me know.
Cool.
Okay. So, have you ever heard of a fella named, there's two pronunciations here. There's Tarrare and Tarrare. You ever heard of a fella named that?
I would say no.
No? Okay. Well, simply put, they called him, there's many names for him. One of the top names for him is Tarrare the Eater or Tarrare the Freak.
Nice.
Okay. Do you have any guess on what that is?
It sounds like he eats people.
We'll get to that.
Really? Like,
That was a good fucking guess. God damn it.
Well, I mean, I do like serial killers.
Yeah, it's a good guess, and I would say it's a pretty good guess. Yeah.
Well, in the States or not in the States?
No, this was in Europe.
Oh, that would be why I haven't heard. I know all the cannibals in the States, but not outside.
So, I'm just gonna be kind of reading off some notes that I wrote down. Okay. So we're just gonna call him Tarrare. I'm not gonna worry about Tarrare, whatever it is. Tarrare. So Tarrare was born near Lyon, France, around 1772.
Okay. Oh, so this is like old. Okay.
Right. I mean, there's a hard time pinpointing the exact date, but it was definitely late 18th century, and I'll tell you why later. Okay. Really little is known about his early life, but he was orphaned at a young age because his parents couldn't afford to care for him or feed him what he was, craving.
Okay. Right. Like, was he craving people at that age?
No. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what it is until later on. But he literally got orphaned. His parents kicked him out because they couldn't afford to feed him.
How old was he? We don't know when he was orphaned?
No. There's a huge gap from when he was born till about 17 years old, roughly. Huge gap.
Bro, all I'm saying, first off, who has their kid, raises them for a certain amount of time, and it's just like, I'm good. I'm out.
I don't know.
Get out, kid.
I don't know.
Did they? It doesn't say if they had other kids or if he had siblings.
It doesn't say. I didn't read anything about it. Because he was orphaned at such a young age, there's not a whole lot about it.
Well, yeah, there's no like family to give any history at that point. Right. Are you testing something out?
Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So when I talk about what he was craving, he would eat literally anything and everything, no matter what it was. He was truly insatiable. He was known to eat food that most people would find disgusting. He would eat inedible objects like dirt, stones. His appetite was so bad that he would eat anything that could fit into his mouth, no matter how distasteful or dangerous it was. He would literally just eat anything. He would not stop eating.
What is that part of the brain?
Okay. And that's how he lived. After being kicked out, he joined a group of thieves and beggars on the streets. And he would gather crowds around him, and he would entertain the crowds for money or food, preferably. And the crowds would feed him just random shit to try to have him like not eat it, and nobody could stump him. They'd feed him live animals, cats, dogs, and he would eat them.
Dude, it's his hypothalamus. That thing had to have been messed up.
We'll touch on that later, but you're kind of on the right track.
But he had a tumor or something.
Okay.
Or brain injury, or his parents dropped him.
Possibly. You don't ever know what life was like in 18th century France.
He fell.
And so at that point, when he was entertaining crowds and they would just feed him random shit, um, at that point when he was in the gang with the thieves, when people were watching, the thieves would go around and steal from people.
Dude, I heard like pickpocketing in Europe is like bad.
Well, it all started with this fella.
This
apparently.
homeboy, this gang. What gang was
I don't know the gang.
Oh, but he was a part of
he
the
was
gang.
he was pretty much just a street kid. After his
Well,
parents kicked
yeah,
him out,
he's got to survive.
Yep.
Like, and who's gonna let you in? A gang member who's awesome. This is a kid. People are gonna like you.
Yep, and that's what he did.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yep, and that's what he did. So, and that's he would literally eat anything: cats, dogs, anything that could fit in his mouth, livestock.
What I'm saying
chickens.
is, so then what? They had to kill him.
Wait for it. We'll get there. There's a whole this story is crazy.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but it's around this time is where he began.
This is
to
when
find,
he's around 17. Is this when?
Yeah. Okay, we're
okay.
getting there. This is pretty much all to 17. Once we hit 17, we get more documentation of his life.
Okay.
But when he was a street performer, is when he discovered he gets the sick joy out of disgusting people, like
their reactions.
their reaction.
Mhm.
Yeah, he gets a sick joy out of finding people's disgusting reaction. He gets a weird joy out of it.
Okay.
And even though he ate a lot, edible, non-edible,
He wasn't gaining weight.
No, he wasn't that big of a man. He was average height.
He wasn't throwing up, or
he was average height, average weight.
well, what is average height and weight
in France? I don't know, 3'2".
Okay,
maybe?
what average? Because I feel like we've gotten taller, right? I think that is the thing. In what do you say? What time it was?
18th century France.
Because I wonder.
Or Europe, you could probably say.
Oops, I didn't even.
But
dude, they're short.
How?
Like 5'6".
I mean, that's not very short. That's pretty average.
5'6" to 5'4".
Okay,
that's short. Compared to what I'm saying is compared to men now. I would say, well, what is average height of men now?
5'4" to 5'6". Yeah, I mean that's a little bit on the shorter side, but I wouldn't say that's like really short.
In U.S. now, 5'6". Yeah, it is the same.
You're right.
That's the average.
Yeah, dude.
Do I just know tall people?
Maybe. I think I don't know.
Well, you and I guess we are taller.
See, but I never thought of myself as being that tall.
Me too. I'm freaking tall.
You are tall.
Average women are 5'2".
Yeah, you're tall.
I'm a freaking giant.
My freaking Amazon. My baby girl.
Dude, I didn't realize that's the average.
Damn, you were pretty tall.
Dude, I actually got not weighed. Well, I got weighed, but I got height measured. Don't know.
Nope, you definitely got heist. We'll call it heist from now on.
At the doctor's office, and they said I was. Oh, what was it? I was 5'9", so you have to be 5'10", because we were having that discussion the other day. I just remembered.
Last time I got heist, I was 5'11".
So then maybe you're 5'11".
Because you want to be 6 foot though, so bad.
We'll just keep on stretching you out.
I can't wait to get my next heist.
Measured just feels weird because like we measure like
everything else.
Yeah, and then
true.
We're going the other. I don't know.
Anyways. Okay. Anyways, yeah, he was not a big man. Average height, average weight.
Okay.
And by the time he was 17, this is kind of when we get into his documented life.
Oh well, yeah, that would make sense if he didn't weigh too much because he's growing.
Right. He would eat the equivalent of half a cow a day.
Bro.
Yeah. Okay. There's documents of this, and we'll dig into that in a little bit. But still, at this point, there was no explanation for his hunger. But there's 4 current theories. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to talk about all 4.
I bet I said one.
Okay, so one of them, I'm gonna have you rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, possibly. Okay, so one of the four theories is he had a tapeworm.
No.
No, right?
No, no. I don't think so.
Just flat out no.
Well,
Okay, I
well,
like it.
okay, wait. Maybe because then that would explain his weight loss, or not. I wouldn't say weight loss. I would say lack of weight gain.
Okay, but the inedible objects.
See, but I don't know.
How about we
Unless
go
the
over all four and then
tapeworms
we talk
in the
about it?
brain. Okay, so wait, on the scale, can I rate them all later?
Yeah, you can rate them all
Okay,
later.
okay, let me just make a little note of which one each one is so I can remember them. Okay.
Okay.
So we got tapeworm. Okay, cool. Got it.
Tapeworm is one theory.
Got it written down.
The second theory is what's called Prader-Willi syndrome. Okay, it's a rare genetic insatiable hunger disease, but note this: it does not explain his lack of weight gain, since it's more common in obese people,
Mm-hmm.
and him being able and wanting to eat everything, inedible objects.
What is it called?
Prader-Willi syndrome.
Okay, how do you spell that?
Prader, and then Willy, but
Oh yeah.
okay.
Gender that causes it. Literally in the definition, it says the first thing that causes obesity.
Yeah.
Okay, intellectual disability. It doesn't sound like he wasn't smart though. Like it sounded like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he was. The reports say he was mentally sound.
Okay, in shortness and height. That's definitely not it.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, it's called PWS as common. So that's definitely a no because he's not hitting any of those marks.
Okay, moving on. Okay,
Freaking
the next
nerds.
one is called Pika. You heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's often with pregnant women and young
Okay,
children.
that's why I heard of it. Okay, okay.
Yep, yep. But still, it does not.
But he's not young. He's like a teenager.
Right, it doesn't explain
Okay.
why he remained thin.
Okay, so
Okay, go on. Fuck.
he ain't pregnant.
Okay, fuck Pika. Okay, the last one, which is also the most, I would say, probable theory,
Mm-hmm.
is what's called polyphagia caused by hyperthyroidism. Okay, so my notes here say while there are many causes of polyphagia, such as stress, diabetes, or a side effect of medication, in Tarrare's case, an overactive thyroid was most likely the cause. Okay, maybe this is what the article's saying.
Whoa, wait, real quick. You said there was 4 options, right?
That's 4.
Nobody thought of the hypothalamus? The hypothalamus is a part of your brain.
I'm gonna just tell you flat out right now, I don't know what the fuck the hypothalamus does.
Okay. Well, so I only did I did drop out of college, like I said, but I did do psychology and I thought the brain was super cool. The hypothalamus is a part of your brain that controls your hunger. So more likely this kid had a freaking tumor on his brain. Nobody thought of putting that in as a guess?
My guess is probably they lean more towards bloodletting. I don't know.
Well, and at that point, I'm guessing. Well, I bet at that point they didn't even know that there's a specific part of the brain that controls your hunger.
Is it really small?
It's like literally dead set in the center. I actually was gonna show it to you. But it's literally the teeniest, tiniest little part. It's in the center of the brain.
Oh yeah.
And so, but he could have had a tumor on it, and that could affect it.
That's like dead center too. Like dead center.
I thought you were saying I was dead on. Or there was a tapeworm in his brain. There is like.
That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive tapeworms can be in the brain. There is.
I don't know.
Oh, so it says this is okay. So an infection occurs after a person swallows a tapeworm egg.
That's even worse, I would say.
And then the larvae get into the tissue such as muscle and brain, where cysts would be formed, which is like a tumor in their brain.
Interesting. That was not one of the theories that
Honestly,
I saw.
but technically it's a tapeworm.
But you don't know, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But, I'm just being a little scientific. I'm guessing, if anything, it was tapeworm related or tumor related. Or, people didn't know what cancer was back then either. Like, cancer's still a genetic mutation that
Did
still
they or
happens.
did they not? I would assume they
Because they
did.
would just die. Well,
Really?
but think about it. If it's internal, they never saw it.
What? That is, I never thought of that.
Really? Yeah, because it's internal.
1700s, you have cancer and you
Unless you have
don't
a.
know, and you just get weak, frail, and die.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew what it was.
No.
But it's, wow.
I mean,
I never thought of that.
cancer has definitely been around. Like, there's no way that it couldn't have. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of artificial things now that I bet definitely play into more why cancer is more around. But
Right.
we also have higher populations now. But I could say that. But anyways, I think that this homeboy had something messed up with his hypothalamus. Either way, there's no way.
So the hypothalamus for sure controls hunger.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that never came up. So we'll keep that in mind moving forward.
I don't know. I think.
But that is the last one. Okay, but also
Mm-hmm.
noting is that it's also worth noting that those suffering with hyperthyroidism often suffer from weight loss,
Mm-hmm.
sweatiness, nervousness, and hair loss,
Was he bald?
which described Tarrare.
He was bald?
He wasn't bald, but
No,
he
he
did
was.
have that the reverse mullet. No hair on top, just on the sides, baby. Rocking it.
At before 17?
Pretty young.
Well, then maybe. Maybe he had a little bit of both.
Okay. So
I could see that last one being
now
good.
we're moving on to his adult life. 17 on. Okay.
Okay.
Tarrare, he was, average height, average build,
Mm-hmm.
but upon closer, if you looked at him, his teeth were stained and his breath was god awful.
Bro, what is he eating?
Fucking everything, I bet.
There's no toothpaste.
His skin around his belly was stretched, folded, and constantly covered in sweat. There was even records of him being hot to the touch. Hot to the touch. Okay? And when he hadn't eaten for the day, his stomach was so extended and saggy that he could wrap it around his whole waist, almost like a belt.
What the heck?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That'll come.
So it sounds like, from what I understand, is like when he would eat, it would get hyper extended.
Yep.
And stretch out this. That would be awful for you. That would be almost painful.
Yep.
Even being pregnant, your skin stretches, and it's like, I remember when I would be like, I need lotion on my back. I need this bad. And that was slow over 9 months. Can you imagine? Within a day, your stomach's just.
Yeah. And he was just insatiable. He'd just keep eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something in his brain was messed up.
Okay. And records also show that his throat and his jaw could stretch so wide. Now, this might be an exaggeration, but a cylinder of a foot in circumference. Fuck, that's huge.
Circumference is.
All
Yeah,
the way
because
around.
is each, yeah.
That you could see pretty much if he opened his jaw and leaned his head back, you could see all the way down into his gullet, into his belly.
Well, think about stretching.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeez, that is crazy.
After he ate, his stomach and cheeks would swell up so bad. His stomach and his cheeks. After a meal, that after he ate it, he would let her go at pretty much the exact same time. So he'd eat, and he'd swell up, and then he would literally, almost immediately, right after eating, shit all over the place.
Bro.
And he would get saggy again.
Dude, I cannot even imagine how messed up this guy's intestines are.
Dude, wait for it. Okay, this isn't even the craziest part.
Dude, our neighbors are getting rowdy.
Huh?
If the music has gone up.
Yeah, it has, right? Um, but, for Tarrare, nobody could really be near him because
I wouldn't want to be near him either.
he stunk so bad. The records show, or I guess records say, that he stunk so bad that there was a vaporous cloud around him
Okay.
of stink
What?
that, like, literally
That is unreal. There's no way.
you could see stink lines coming off of him. That's how bad he
Okay.
stunk.
I think people. Is that even possible?
I don't know.
Dude, even piles of like manure, you can't see it. I mean, unless they, I mean, we got to go back to these are olden times, okay, right? Okay. What if they're seeing all that like monoxide, all that like the vapors, like with the sun?
We also got to think. I think it would depend on the time of year, but if he was always hot to the touch,
Oh, it'd
I
be
know.
steam.
I remember when I was HVAC installing and it was like 30 degrees outside and I was
Well,
working hard all day. I could stand out 30-degree weather and there would be steam coming off of me. I
yes.
remember that.
So I could see that, and also like if you do like, and also in sunlight, like I bet this guy has fumes, like some nasty stuff. Like even thinking about like people like drinking, you can instantly smell their booze. Like I bet like you can like see almost that like all that disgusting matter that's like going through his body or not being able to fully process through his body, like kind of like a vapor.
Right. So that's essentially what
Okay.
people saw.
I would say like not with the naked eye. I would say like okay in the sunlight or
A dewy
a
morning.
dewy morning. But no, yeah. Even when you would like play lacrosse, I remember like if you had your games
Be
and you take
steaming,
off
bro.
your pads and you were just like,
Yeah,
ugh,
just steaming, bro.
ugh.
Shit got so hot.
I
But
know.
either way, back on topic here.
Homeboy had a little vapor to him.
Yeah, Tarrare couldn't stay in an area for too long because he would end up stealing from homes or markets. Pets would go missing. He'd
So wait,
go
he
through
was just
garbage.
going?
He literally couldn't stop. Yeah, he was on the move. After he got kicked
I
out,
mean, yeah, you had to be.
he had to be, right?
Jeez.
But right around 1792, roughly when he's 20 years old, is when doctors started to take an interest in him. Okay?
Yeah.
And not for nothing, because he enlisted into the French army
Wait,
as a soldier.
he's just gonna eat freaking the other side or what?
Yeah, they're just gonna send him
They're just
through.
like
He's gonna Kirby it up, just
he's
fucking
like
suck him
Pac-Man.
dry. And so at the time when he enlisted into the army, the French army, there was two doctors that took interest in him: Dr. Percy and Dr. Corville. So Dr. Percy, I couldn't find, or Dr. Percy, um, he was a French doctor and a surgeon. He was a surgeon in chief in Napoleon's Grand Armée.
Interesting.
Right. During the Neapolitanic campaigns in Germany and Poland. Okay,
Cool.
that's Dr. Percy. Notable achievements: he created the worst. It was at that time a new ambulance type. So think of,
Oh, why is it called the worst?
I don't know, because probably being in that situation is probably the worst. I don't know, but it was called the worst.
Perfect.
It was
love
called the
it.
worst. So imagine it like, horse and buggy, horse and
Uh-huh.
carriage.
Mhm.
Essentially, it was a coffin that was attached. Instead of a buggy, it was a coffin, and they would take you like that. So he invented that, and that was pretty much his notable achievement. Was that
So that's not an ambulance. That's a
a
hearse.
mobile coffin?
It's a hearse.
Maybe that's where it came from. Hearse, worse,
Bro,
maybe.
you just hacked the system.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this was really small. Is that he created a surgical quiver?
A quibber?
It's essentially something where you hold surgical tools.
I mean, that's pretty solid. I mean,
Yeah, so really small. Dr. Corvell, on the other hand, I could not find shit about him. Nothing. No, I couldn't. Literally, when I looked up Dr. Corvell, Tarrare came up.
cool.
Couldn't find anything
So a
about him.
nice little circle around. Okay,
Yep,
that's
couldn't find
fine.
anything about
Yep.
it. Okay.
Interesting.
So as soon as Tarrare joined the army, he was ready to start rolling. He was freaking pumped, right? The lack of his rations made him sick and weak. They regular rations for an army soldier did not do it for him. He was getting sick, he was getting weak, and he was sent to the hospital multiple times because he wasn't getting fed enough. And so that's when Dr. Percy and Dr. Corville caught an interest in him.
Well, I feel like also like that's a rapid like calorie decrease. Like I know his body's not really digesting it, but like even if you all of a sudden cut yourself off, yeah.
Right. Right.
Sheesh.
So
Well, think about how many calories he was eating.
I don't even
Half of a cow?
I can't even imagine.
Dude,
I can't even imagine.
I can't.
Okay, but both doctors tried to satisfy Tarrare's hunger by giving them the rations of 4 soldiers. How do you think that went?
No go. I already know they were like, dang.
Yeah, didn't work.
Well, 4 people.
Didn't work. So then they try a buffet style meal on them. That should have been good for 15 people. 15 fucking people, including 2 large meat pies
Uh-huh.
and gallons of milk. Just ate it all. Fucking guzzled
Sounds
her down.
like Craig when he was growing up.
um, at this point, the doctors were at a loss. They had no idea.
Could you imagine back in the day? Can't Google it. Can't call anybody. Wait, when was the phone invented?
I don't know when the phone was invented.
It's like, because I feel like it was
I don't know when it was. But it was probably
okay. That's Apple. Okay, Apple's freaking
Apple.
1876. We're in 17 something, right?
Yeah, like late 18th century. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't even developed till 1849. So it's not like you can be like, hey, I have this really crazy thing. Can you help me out? Can't even do that.
Dr. Fauci, I need help here, buddy.
So wait, did these two just worked at the
They just worked
at
for
the army?
They worked for
I was about to say,
Napoleon
so how did they
Bonaparte.
both?
Okay. And they were at a loss. But a series of experiments followed. This is what the doctors wanted. Okay. He ate a live cat. He ate snakes, lizards, puppies.
A live cat?
Live cats.
How do you even do?
I don't know. Live puppies. They just fed him everything and anything, and he would eat it.
Dude.
This is documented.
Dude. The OG Pac-Man.
Snakes, lizards. Yeah. Medical records show that Tarrare regurgitated cat skin and fur.
Wait.
Medical fucking records.
He regurgitated?
He threw up a little later. He said, maybe that wasn't the best thing to eat. And it was just cat fur and skin.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah. Eventually the doctors gave up, though. They gave up, but it caught the attention of a French army general about this fella that could just eat stuff.
Oh no.
By an Alexandre, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Beharnias. That's what I'm gonna say.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So essentially, Beharnias was like, my boy Tarrare, if I give you some shit to eat, it might contain notes, special special notes for armies across the line. Could you deliver it? If you eat it, we'll give you 30 pounds of liver and meat. And Tarrare accepted.
Wait. He had to deliver. Wait, one more time? He had to deliver notes to the other army?
Yeah, so like communication with another like section, another battalion.
Oh, I see.
So Tarrare's plan was to eat this little wooden box with notes on the inside that he would have to go deliver to another battalion. He essentially, the general made him into a spy.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
That's what happened. So the general was like, "Hell yeah, bro! You just eat this little wooden box. I'll give you all the liver and all the meat you want." So Tarrare, like literally, was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." And he ate the wooden box, ate all the liver, and he fucking went on his way. Very quickly, he was caught. Very quickly. Okay? And at that time, it was the Prussians. They beat him and they tortured him. And then he eventually gave up the plan of the French army. Okay?
Well, he just pooped it out.
Right. So yeah, they essentially waited for him to poop it out because it would happen very soon. And he pooped it. Okay, this is my favorite part. He pooped it out.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the wooden box, and it was a note with nothing on it. You know what they did? They beat him up more. You can't win. You can't lose. You just get beat the fuck up.
I mean, I'd be pissed. I just wasted all this time on this guy.
Dude, I know. You gotta wait for him. He stinks so bad.
Yeah.
Shit all over you, probably.
Oh, easily.
Eventually, they ended up feeling bad for him, and they just let him go. And he quit the army. Not by choice, but because he became a liability.
I was gonna say, maybe you should leave.
Yeah. I think, bro, you kind of fucking stink.
Yeah.
And he ended up just, he went back, but he was more labeled as a liability than an asset because he was eating way too many rations.
Well, yeah, you're eating all this stuff for people who can actually, not be smelled from across the line.
Right. He was eating too many rations.
He couldn't sneak up on anybody.
No. Because he stunk so bad?
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
he's like, army crawling? Nope. Smell him from a mile away. He would leave a trail of stink.
Yeah, he would. He literally would. And so, yeah, he was relieved from his army duties. But after he was done with the army, he went back to Dr. Percy and he wanted him to cure him. He said, "Dr. Percy, my boy,
please help me.
Please help me." So Dr. Percy, agreed and started helping him.
Dang.
And eventually what happened is Tarrare's appetite turned for the worst.
It even got worse?
It got worse.
Oh my gosh.
He started dining at slaughterhouses. Eating scraps from slaughterhouses. He would, bloodletting was big. He would drink the blood.
Bloodletting?
Mm-hmm.
What is that again?
It's from what I believe. I don't know if it's exactly true, but they would just let blood go in case it started from religious roots, I believe.
Oh. It was from medical treatment.
Yeah, and they would just let some blood go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He would drink that blood.
Jeez.
Right. And he was just insatiable. He could not stop. But his eating habits disgusted the doctors. Literally. They were just disgusted by him.
Dude, I wouldn't want to look at that. Yeah.
The final straw happened when Tarrare was in the hospital with the doctors, and then a baby went missing.
No.
Mm-hmm. There's no proof that he did it, but while he was there, a baby went missing, and the rumors spread within everybody. Right after that, he ended up disappearing for about 4 years. And in that time, there's nothing, no records of him, no nothing. But Dr. Percy got pretty a mail about 4 years later, maybe 5 years later, right around in that time, saying that he has a patient that's dying of tuberculosis. Um, and Dr. Percy showed up, and it was Tarrare. Not within a few months, Tarrare ended up passing away due to tuberculosis and diarrhea. And that's how he passed away. That's how he died.
Bro.
And this
Dude.
was in 1796, I believe. He was 25. This all happened within 25 years.
Since nobody can see my mouth is just like jaw dropped. That is insane.
Mm-hmm.
4 years? What did homeboy do?
My guess is he kind of went back to his roots of like
Just on the move 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
That's my guess.
Honestly, low key, if he ate that baby, good thing something took him out early. Because could you imagine? Okay. Dang, you really made me believe that he like totally ate people all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. I was like waiting for it. I was like, God.
So that's
Like, he ate a
Tarrare.
baby.
There's no proof for
Whatever, he ate a baby.
that possibly.
He can come back and.
So what do you think? What do you think about
That was pretty cool.
my boy Tarrare?
Dude, that's a good one.
You like that?
Yeah.
I like it too.
That was awesome. That was really cool. That was really freaking crazy. Oh my gosh. You did such a good job. I can't get over it. That is just. Dude, something was messed up with this guy's hypothalamus.
Had to be, right?
Easily.
Closing thoughts. What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking. That's a great question.
I'm thinking like I know sometimes when I get home from work, like I'm fucking hungry. You know, I literally just start snacking and eating.
Yeah.
But just imagine that feeling.
How exhausting.
Just never goes away.
How exhausting. You know? Like,
explain.
How exhausting would it feel to just be hungry all the time? Just be like, oh my gosh, I just want to like stop eating. Or he's just eating for show. And I honestly think a part of him enjoying like people like being disgusted is because he got attention, you know? Attention that he didn't get because his parents abandoned him.
Disowned him, probably.
And honestly, I mean, their parents probably got out good, but all I'm saying is still you don't give up on your kid. Like, that kind of sucks. Like,
especially a young kid like that. But, you know, I don't know.
Well, who knows?
Wish I got more information about his family, but it was kind of just like.
Well, I bet he didn't want to talk about it either.
Good point. He just it was very briefly skipped over. Like he was just kind of pretty much from the start. He was an orphan. He was a street kid, and he discovered performing and entertaining others.
Yeah, and I think that's a part of his. I think that correlation of okay, these people are disgusted, they are in awe, they can't take their eyes off of me. All these other people are able to steal from them. That means good things for me, you know.
And especially also like if you're that hungry all the time, like they're bringing me stuff.
Yeah.
They're bringing me stuff. They're bringing me stuff to eat. I'm hungry, you know, and at the same time, all my friends, they benefit too.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is like, I just don't understand the lot. I mean, people push it though, you know? Like, who is like, you know what, I'm gonna bring him a cat and see if he eats it. And he eats it. Like, that's just like cat crappy. To be that person that's like, I'm gonna see this. Why would you do that?
I'm almost thinking there might have been a prize involved or something.
Who knows? But like, still like, but I think that's almost human nature is just to push your limit.
Yeah. Speaking of human nature versus nurture, I really want to talk about, Jeannie Wiley.
Is that?
She was a child in Los Angeles, in the middle of Los Angeles. Um, and she was pretty much shied away from any social interaction. She was locked up for about 12
Oh,
years.
in a shed or something? Or is
Not in a
that
shed,
something
but like
else?
in a basement. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they found her about 12 years later with no social interaction.
Oh, yes. I know who
Jeannie
you're talking
Wiley.
about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I read a little bit about her. It's
Yeah?
is pretty crazy. And then, have you ever heard of Oksana?
Mm,
She was raised by dogs.
I don't know if I've looked into that one.
Okay, it's interesting.
Well, nature versus nurture is one of the biggest things that
It
people talk
is. It
about.
is huge.
I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's both.
Explain a little more, because I'm like, I could see both arguments. You know,
Exactly, which I think means it's both. Because
I
there
don't know.
is natural factors and there are nurture factors as well.
Okay,
But I
but
think some can overrule the other. Like, I mean, think about how many, like, I've listened to so many serial killer things.
so many.
Crime Junkie, Morbid. Shout out, dude. Love Morbid.
Yeah, Morbid's pretty good. I
I
love
love them.
Morbid.
Um,
They do a good podcast.
they do a really good job. And they do a really good job at talking about like it where people and like their history and they always are like, hey, like as a kid, like you can feel like sorry for this person as a kid. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
this off the top of my head right now, like whoever, like
Mm-hmm.
serial killer wise, you're like, oh, they were beaten, sexually abused, like all this stuff,
Right.
and you feel bad for them, but it
Right.
doesn't mean that it's okay with what they did, no matter what. But then you're like what they did to like other people,
So you can feel bad for the serial
but you
killer.
almost feel bad for their child, like their child time, like their time as a child. You feel bad, like you feel bad that I can't believe
Okay. Okay. I see what you're
that
saying.
that kid had to go through that, but doesn't mean that that's okay that you raped, killed, tortured, like did all
Right.
this to
Right.
other
Right.
people.
Right. Right.
So it's like it's okay to feel bad, like, but that's the thing. That's like thing. But then you also have serial killers totally fine. Their parents loved them. They helped them through school. They did everything. Then they turn out to be just awful.
Yes,
But that's what I'm saying is that there is
but I think,
there has to be an imbalance, and there has been proven things of like their brain being different.
I don't know. It's
But I
such a
also
difficult thing, I think, to talk about. But like,
I think it's both.
I think when it comes down to nature versus nurture, I don't know if I'm in the same boat as you, saying like it's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of both. I definitely think it's one or the other.
Really?
100%.
Well, then which one is it for everybody?
I think it's your nature as a person.
Do you think it's like genetically,
Yeah.
not how you were raised?
I think when you're being conceptualized as a zygote,
Whenever you're being created.
literally what people say, genetic lottery, right?
Mm-hmm.
You either strike out and you look like fucking what's his name, Chris Pratt, or fucking Ryan Reynolds, or you come out looking decent, but you just want to kill people. You know, I think,
Or not decent.
or not decent, and you just want to kill people, like Victor Ramirez. You know what? Like,
Ugh.
I don't, I don't believe. I'm guessing
So
what I'm
what you
trying to
kind of
say.
are like, people are people are born for a reason.
Yeah, I
You even
guess.
go back to that. You can
Damn, I
even go
guess I
back to
never
that.
thought about that. I
Is
think
that
people are born for a reason. Like, I think, fuck, man, you're giving me a whole different view on everything right now. I'm not going to say that everything's written out in stone already. Like,
mm-hmm,
God has written a book and we're just playing out, page
mm-hmm,
72 or whatever it is. But, like, when you are born,
mm-hmm.
no matter what, you're going to follow a path that
Well,
was destined to happen. whether it be,
Yeah.
you're a lumberjack or a CEO or a janitor.
Mm-hmm.
You know
You
what?
have to fit your role into
You're
society.
you're gonna fit your role into society, and if one of those roles is a serial killer or a murderer
Mm-hmm.
or whatever the hell it is, you inherently probably don't view what you're doing as bad,
They usually don't.
but you're just following kind of what you believe is your path.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong,
No, I'm not saying. Yeah, I know that. I mean, that's pretty intense. That's a pretty good argue because,
but
yeah,
I
I
guess
can see it.
it does come back to God, doesn't it?
Or your pagan beliefs.
My pagan beliefs. Fuck, you got me. I'm a pagan.
But yeah, I see where you're coming from for that because yeah, it's like it's something where you're kind of nature versus nurture is hard, but I can see where you're coming from.
I remember taking a college course about it, and it was
That'd be
like,
psychology, bro.
dude, it was a tough class. I mean, it wasn't like actually tough. It was
It's
very fucking easy. But
yeah.
like, it was like 1 week we'd all be nurtured. Okay, yeah, you can definitely fucking nurture this person to being a good
Mm-hmm.
person. The next week, boom, just kidding. That's who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think growing
I thought
up,
that was more sociology though. Then.
I don't remember,
Mm-hmm.
but I think like growing up, there's certain things, there's certain defining factors into your life that kind of mold who you are, no matter what. It could be the smallest thing. It could,
Oh, 100%.
right? And
Everything, the littlest things,
right,
all
like core
way.
memories. Let's talk about core
Yeah.
memories. Like,
What is that? Inside Out.
yeah, Inside Out. You have yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you have a core memory of the first time you're severely embarrassed. I don't think any amount of nurturing is going to change that,
Mm-mm.
right? You remember the first time you're really mad, which for me wasn't till like, I don't know, third grade, fourth grade, is whenever they took the remote from me or like wouldn't watch what I wanted. It was like third or fourth grade. I don't remember when, but
Yeah.
like no amount of nurturing I think will change that. So like for a serial killer or somebody that maybe doesn't view killing as something bad, just maybe an inherent want,
Mm-hmm.
they view it as like a core memory of something that happened in their past.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not a trained
But
psychologist.
then
I have no
also
idea.
they think of it's almost like drug related,
What do you mean?
like with like chasing the high.
Yes, like an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That like creeps me out.
Yeah, it grosses me out.
That like really creeps me out. You.
Yeah,
Please don't kill me.
I'm not playing on it. Yeah, no, I don't. Taking it just makes me so upset. I guess I think that's why I listen to it so much. It's because
Yeah,
well,
me
it's not like
too.
I want to make myself upset about serial killers, but it's just like I guess trying to understand more, and you're never gonna understand it.
I
Like
don't think I don't think
if
you
you're never
can.
gonna be if you're never gonna be that person, you're never gonna actually understand it.
I agree.
Like I think it's like how people phrase it all the time is like you're taking like somebody else's like kid away or somebody else's sister or somebody else's
And that's
whoever,
how I view
and
everything.
that's
Like
how
that's
can you do that?
when you no matter what, dating, talking to somebody, that is somebody's brother, sister, father, or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. You
Well,
know.
it's like crazy. Like even think about like now, like we're parents. Like we have like somebody else that's like forever gonna be like relied on us. You know.
And just for the record, I will. There is like nothing I would do. There's not anything I wouldn't do for my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I would kill a motherfucker so fast.
I can never understand, but No,
I
I
guess
think
if
it's
that's
different.
where it comes from, like
Well,
if somebody hurt my if
I can
somebody hurt
see
my
self
kid,
defense. I can see self
I
defense.
can see self defense too. But if somebody hurt my daughter, I honestly think all I would see is
Is
red.
red. Mm-hmm.
That's all I would see, and
Yeah,
I don't know if that comes from like deep down inside of me,
I
but
think that's like a instinctual thing.
I don't know. But like deep down, I know if somebody hurt my daughter, oh fuck,
Nobody's gonna hurt her.
hope not
But we're gonna
for
take
their
care of
safety.
her. But dang, yeah. Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
this whole topic on nature versus nurture.
Yeah, it came from
Um,
homeboy over here.
I hope you guys
I
enjoyed
think
the episode.
yeah.
Um,
I enjoyed it. I
I
really
enjoyed it
did.
too. I will see you guys later.
See it.
Oh, also, if you
Oh,
guys have something that you want us to um, cover, just
yes.
email didn't anyone mention at gmail.com.
Yes.
Just the didn't have an apostrophe or doesn't have an apostrophe. So
Didn't.
didn't anyone mention at gmail.com.
Yes.
And just give us some ideas. So with that note, I'm Miguel.
I'm Sam.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.